let's get into it. Second of the tier list videos. This is the tank tier list video. Hopefully this will not be as long as the DPS video. I mean, it shouldn't be. There isn't as many characters. Also, I don't feel like there's going to be a lot to say that I haven't already said in previous videos. So let's just get into it. So starting off, let's start with baby. So I haven't grouped these up. Maybe I should. Yeah, let's do a little bit of this. All right. I ordered them a little bit. So I have them. These are like the energy based people, and then you have like the people who just like tend to stay alive. Let me put cooler up here because I feel like his value is outside of just like, but they're just in general, they have like means of maintaining like defense buffs or whatever. People who have different utility, etc. I don't know. Subcategories of tank is just weird because like they haven't found like a specific niche that each one falls into. Each tank feels almost completely different, save like a couple. But let's start with baby. I would put baby safely in the A tier. I think that he's fine. I think you can make him work. I think that his cooldowns are decent enough that because he's similar to top in which he has to cycle, but cycle his cooldowns, but his cooldowns cycle off of different skills rather than rush attacks. So you're always using your skills, which means that you're always doing some type of AoE, or you are doing your infect, which means that you get heal. I think the two things that make baby pretty bad is his passive is like, it just doesn't do anything. You barely get to see it, and even when you do, most of the time it doesn't matter. Sometimes you get to see it at the end of the game, and it's like, oh, this is cool, but like sometimes the character that you infected is just kind of meh. And then on top of that, you have to press the skill twice for it to actually come out, which is really annoying. And then his skill 1 just doesn't do enough damage, doesn't do enough knockback. Like, it's just really useless as a skill. His ultimate's cool because like it scales based on how many times you hit people using it. So it will continuously do more and more damage as the game goes on, even outside of leveling it, which I think is very, very good. I have had multiple games where I've been able to like take out 3-4 people all at once with my ultimate. And then on top of that, it gives you overhealth. It's a very nice tool to have. But there are definitely some things that keep him from being a better character. Mostly, like, even though, yeah, you make another character tanky, you then make the game a 3v4, but with one person who is tankier just because you add extra damage and healing to them. But overall, you are still making it a 3v4. I think while that can be good, it doesn't offer the most, unfortunately. It can still lead to people on the enemy team having an advantage, especially if they kind of know what you do. Like, they could just kind of avoid your skill 2, which means that you don't get the cooldown reduction, and then your skill 3 is going to be on like a 26-second cooldown, which is just annoying. There are ways to play around baby, so I think putting him in A I think it's a decent spot for him. All right, Bulma. Everybody already knows she is the best tank in the game. It's not even close. Her passive is broken. It needs to be nerfed ASAP. I don't even know what you would do to the passive without completely gutting it. The house being able to just protect Kai, protect boss, hide you on tower, and like there's so much utility from the house or the skill 3 that it's low-key kind of broken. But honestly, I don't even find that to be the most broken part of her kit. Like, yeah, it can be depending, but I think her passive is what makes her truly broken. Like being able to just zip zooming around, never really having to care, and like being so fast and mobile that you don't even like, you're like realistically the only tank that doesn't really need build up. But if you do run build up, that makes you only that much more dangerous because you can kind of tap tower more than anyone else. It's kind of ridiculous how much this character offers in terms of survivability, being able to stun and have slight boss secure with her ultimate, as well as like being able to carry another DPS around on your back, hide the DPS, protect your DPS, apply slowdown, have knockback. Her knockback is like a worse version of like OG Bardock's skill 1. And to be honest, you don't even need the fucking skill 2 to do the knockback, because you could just use your passive and drive into them, and like it will move them out of the way. Just an absolutely ridiculous character. I expect nerfs within the next 10 days, to be honest. God Vegeta. Yeah, it's an interest. I'm gonna put him in A, but I'm gonna put him behind Baby. Nah, I can't do that. I think he does like. Here's the thing: God Vegeta should, in theory, be good, but he doesn't have enough health or like armor. One of the two. He needs more of one of them, preferably armor, honestly, to make him better. He doesn't have enough to actually be tanky. He gets destroyed by the current meta, which is like the God Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Goku. They just destroy his health. They don't allow him to proc his passive so that he can get more armor. And that's if you get to proc his passive, because his passive takes so long to actually like be activated. Unless you're doing a team fight, which isn't always, obviously. But his skills are all really good. He steals attack power, and while nerfing the enemy's attack power, he has this, the suck in with his skill 2, which then can be teamed with his ult, which also applies 3-second stun. I'd say that like the worst thing is that like his 3-second stun is like Loki, just kind of a different version of Bulma's ult. I think it's wild that both him and Bulma have like the same type of ult. The only difference is that hers is like a driving ult that she can like take her teammate with her, and his is like just a teleportation, which they both have their uses depending. Honestly, his ult kind of carries him, because his ult having that teleportation makes it so that he just has a lot more value to the team outside of just his other skills, which we haven't even mentioned his skill 3, which just locks people down, which is also really good, and you can apply it to multiple people. The biggest thing is that if the enemies are running range characters, he kind of struggles. Cell. I am going to put Cell in the top of A. I was thinking S, but nah, top of A. Here's why. I think Cell, with the Tao Pai Pai and the dragon buffs, offers a lot. Like, a lot. I think that he gives stun, which is stun is a bit inconsistent because it's based on whether or not the enemy is facing away from you, but it's still good. His skill 1 does a lot of damage. His skill 3 is the worst thing in his kit. They need to do something with it, like give him defense buffs or something. But outside of his skill 3, he does a lot, like with his skill 1 and skill 2. Like having like a tank that can actually do stun is off rip like really good. It's like the thing that carries Vegeta to being as good as he is. It's the thing that keeps Super Saiyan 4 relevant. Like, on top of that, like his ultimate being able to just nullify all energy when the meta is like strictly revolving around energy based attacks honestly makes me want to put him higher up. I've been playing a lot of Cell recently since they basically made it so that his early game just doesn't matter anymore because you can just run Tao Pai Pai or Dragon Rider or whatever. And like being able to do that so that you can have an anti-meta character is so good. Because it just makes it so that if you're playing with a competent DPS, you can nullify all of the enemy's DPS while being able to make sure that your allies can take boss. I honestly should. I'm considering putting him higher. Like, and then on top of that, like, he also gains like a lot of health, a lot of armor. He gets a lot. Like, he's low key one of the tankiest tanks in the game. Like, especially if you build him defensively. I'm gonna keep him where he is for now, but he might be moved up to S. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta has fallen off so hard. For one, his skill 3. His skill 3 gets countered so easily now because characters are just so mobile, and some of the characters can just walk through it. Broly can walk through it. Oob can walk through it. God Goku doesn't even need to worry about it because he can just shoot through it, which is ridiculous. He could shoot over it with his his basic attack. So like God Goku just like fully counters Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And you look at his other skills, his skill 2 is just inconsistent because unfortunately it moves a lot slower now, and like when it kicks someone into the wall, it for some reason doesn't always stun them. And the skill 1 is just a worse version of God Vegeta's skill 2. He gets energy, he gets strike defense up, not energy defense, but he gets strike defense up, but like that doesn't really matter. Like it protects him against the tank, sure, but like usually you're going to be going up against other energy based characters. Like it just doesn't help him. His ultimate is pretty good. They buffed the damage on it, but they nerfed the knockback. It's pretty good for helping with boss secure, and it has a really low cooldown, so I could see myself putting him higher, but I think B is fine for now, especially considering we're just going over tanks. Cooler. I think Cooler's S tier. His skill 2 just being able to make it so that people can't vanish and making it so they can't use their defense step is crazy. He full counters Kid Goku. His skill 1 does decent damage. His skill 3 can get a stun if you use it properly. His ultimate is up there for like probably one of the best ults in the game out of utility because it just sucks you in and like keeps you trapped there while doing damage. And I think it also like is anti-vanish as well. So like the AoE is also crazy on it. Like he's just so good. And on top of that, like if you're a really good cooler, you could also utilize your iframes to like keep you safe. But he's still not as good as Caulifla. They nerfed her, but she's still good. Her wrath is really good for the characters that are meta right now. Being able to just make it so that people are forced to target you is very good, especially for protecting your DPS. She is able to draw the attention and force people to fight her better than most. I think that's what tanks should be doing, is like trying to get the attention on them, and like her ability to do that is just very good. Then her skill 3 gives her a movement buff and also blocks all energy attacks so you can save the boss. I think the weakest thing in her kit is her skill 2. Her ultimate just allows her to utilize her passive. And by the way, any person that you get provoke on, which is basically the same thing as like Wrath, anyone that you provoke gives her a defense buff. The more people you provoke, the more defense she has, which is amazing. I think that she is in a very good spot right now. Bardock. Bardock is the second best tank in the game. He is so good. He has displacement, he has wrath, he has stun, he has even mobility. He has huge displacement on his ult, which can make it so that you can just tap tower for a good bit. Then his passive just makes it so that he never fucking dies. He is an insane tank. The only reason he's not the best tank in the game is just because Bulma's like all of that and more. Zamasu. I think I would consider Zamasu the worst tank in the game. He has survivability. Like, especially in early game, like if you get that level lead in early game, like he has decent survivability. And his ult does okay damage, and the slowdown is like kind of crazy. But there are characters that can still get out of it. They have mobility tools. Trunks can get out of it. Anyone with a mobility skill can get out of his ultimate. And realistically, that's like the only debuff he applies. Like, all of these other tanks give you something. Movement speed down, and on top of that, he gives healing and overhealth to himself. 3-second stun, stolen attack, displacement, and immobile. He gives barrier and stun and displacement, movement speed down and stun, and nullifies enemies' energy. Iframes, stun, no vanish, wrath, provoked, energy barrier, displacement. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, all of these tanks, like all of them just do more than Zamasu. The only thing that Zamasu has is continuous damage, and like it's not even enough continuous damage to be scary. Like, most of the time, most people don't even notice it, to be honest with you. They need to do something with this character. He has a little bit of displacement with his skill 2, I suppose, but even that is just not enough. He needs something. He needs help. Last but not least, Super Saiyan Vegeta. I would argue that Super Saiyan Vegeta is better than Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Honestly, I could see myself even... Actually... Yeah. He has a lot of survivability, especially with the Tao Pai Pai buffs. And then they just buffed his skill 1, so he gets even more armor on it. Like, he's just able to keep himself alive. He applies like decent movement speed down. He has a little bit of displacement with his skill 3. His skill 2 is not the best. I think that they definitely need to do something to his skill 2. But his ultimate is very good. It's not like amazing, but it makes it so that he can't die, which allows you to tap tower. So that's pretty good. But I don't know. I think the biggest thing about him is that he just doesn't really do that much damage, and like similar to Zamasu, he just doesn't offer that much. But the difference between Zamasu and Super Saiyan Vegeta is that Zamasu only offers movement speed down and like kind of can't die, but to be able to get to that level of tankiness, he needs to farm on minions, versus like Vegeta just gets to do that by using his skills in battle. Like, I think maybe I am glazing him a little too much, putting him in A. I'll put him in top of B, but like, all right, I moved some things around here. I'll talk about it. I moved Cell up to S tier. I just think his ultimate does make him like warrant him being an S tier. I moved Vegeta up to A. I was already considering it, and I moved Super Saiyan 4 up to A. But obviously, I'm keeping him at the bottom of A. I think that I'm not. He's still decent. It's literally just like he counters Super Saiyan 3, which is nice. And he does have stun and displacement and decent damage on his ult, which has a low cooldown. But like outside of that, like there's just other people that can just do it better than this character. But I think this character deserves to be an A. I think that he's really good at frontlining. The other thing is this character's also really good at farming, and that's also why I think like he's able to get his build up very quickly, so he's just going to be tankier a lot faster. And then on top of that, he's able to like really keep people fighting him, which is what you need whenever you're trying to protect your DPS. And Zamasu just doesn't do any of that. So I think while I moved him up from C just because like he does get like 50% of his meter every time he respawns or like joins into the game, he just starts with it. So he's at least not having to farm all of the time. And he does have the ability to get his health back, which I think he should have defense buffs whenever he gets his health back like that. But I don't think it's enough to make him anywhere near as good as the rest of these. I'm still fighting on keeping Super... yeah, I do think that he deserves to be knocked down. Like, he counters Super Saiyan 3, but, like, God Goku just diffs this man so hard. And he's, like... If you're trying to run, like, a meta team, I need to be honest, and, like... He's just not. But, alright, I think I'm happy with this. Alright, well, that's my tank tier list. I think this is pretty good. Maybe I could lower some people. Maybe I could raise some people up. But I think this is pretty decent. All things considered. But alright, comment what you think below. Have a good night. And I'll see you in the next one.